Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, so today is taking a quite an interesting twist. I'm going to give you a word. You give me a song that has that word, and then you give me a line or two of that song.
Oh, okay.
Are you prepared?
Sure.
Okay, so ready?
Okay,
so my first word is tomorrow.
Tomorrow never comes.
That voice.
I'm not saying it. You said a line or two, so...
Okay, so love.
Love is wicked.
Nice to meet you.
Love is wicked. Brick and lace.
Great. Need.
Okay, I'll go for this one. I need you.
Him, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
My
It's a
song,
nice
I
song.
need you. From the
I need you. And my last word is kiss. You know, she knows a lot of the love songs, the classics.
Okay,
Yeah.
kiss.
My kiss.
Okay, Ed Sheeran.
Baby.
Kiss me.
How interesting.
Okay, so I'll go for Soldier Boy. Baby.
Okay, kiss me through the phone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful. Okay, guys. So welcome to Between the Sheets, folks. Your favorite book review talk show with me, Naaana. And today I'm doing the show with
Ernestine.
And I am Courage Azaglo.
Okay, welcome once again.
Thank you.
Alright, so as already mentioned, we are discussing the play Sizwe Bansi is Dead by Athol Fugard, right?
Yes.
And co-authored by two other people.
Yes.
Okay. Sizwe Bansi is Dead. The title, how captivating, how riveting.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
It is. When I first saw the title, my first thought was, okay, so maybe this is an important person who died and it's affected his family or something. When I read it, something else.
Okay, I was also thinking that it was about a dead person, actually, in the title.
Yeah.
Sizwe Bansi. So there's somebody called Sizwe Bansi who is there.
Yeah. I also got that same feel, like someone is dead, but my point was that he's dead, so what? Sizwe Bansi is dead.
Yeah, so
Like,
that's why I
Courage
said
is
I
dead,
thought
so
he
what?
was an important person.
Exactly.
That his death affected people, so
You know.
yeah.
Well, okay, so that takes us into like the actual discussion of the play.
Okay.
It's set in apartheid era,
Yeah.
South Africa, right?
Yeah, yes.
So can we talk briefly about the apartheid era?
Alright. So this was a time when South Africa was divided, between white and blacks, where everything good was reserved for white and the blacks were not treated so well.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure. And a synopsis of the story.
So the story is about Sizwe Bansi, okay? So he moved from his hometown to a bigger town to find work. But then in apartheid South Africa, the movements of black men was controlled.
Okay.
You have to carry this thing called a passbook. So when he got to the town he wanted to work, where he could find work, he was denied. He had a stamp in his book that says he has to go back to where he came from. And nobody, there's no work. He has a wife and kids to feed. So this story was about him trying to find a way to work in a system that is just trying to push him down.
Sure. Anything else to add? And I think I like how brief the synopsis is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it captures everything actually. Yeah. When I started reading this play, I was at a loss. I was like, I wouldn't be able to get any pertinent issues to deal with because of how the style was.
Okay.
Long monologue at the beginning.
It's true.
Yeah, I'm like, what's going on?
I think that captures the culture of South Africa.
Okay.
They have a long history of oral
I see.
literature too. They tell stories and they like
Very
songs.
dramatic.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think the style. What I was reading is I felt like I could hear South Africa
It's true.
stuff.
I actually went to watch videos on YouTube
Oh,
and I
okay.
realized that
When I was reading, I could picture them actually talking.
yeah, it's true. How they even acted in the videos on
Okay,
social
then.
YouTube and
Okay.
all that. It was so interesting.
Great.
Yeah. Well, so I think it resonates with their culture, right?
Yeah, it
Okay.
does.
And it's surprising how, though short, and though not so much information, yet it's so complicated.
It's true.
Yeah. Okay, Tina, do you have any comments about that?
No.
Okay, sure. All right. And we realize that it starts with a highly conversational tone, as we've mentioned already.
Yes.
And one thing I liked or noticed about Styles, the photographer, is that he loves what he does.
Yeah.
It's true.
When you come a photographer, I was picturing a Ghanaian photographer, like my photographer, Kwekwe Dinkra. You go into his studio and then you tell him that I want to take a picture. And this guy will take his time, sit like this, do that, and all that. Who are you sending the picture to? What message do you want it to carry? You know, do photographers in Ghana do that? Or the narrative is changing now?
Well, I should think it's changing. You know, he loves photography. He quit his job for it. You know, he had a job at first. He quit it for the photography. So you can see it was something he was passionate about.
Even though his family was against it.
Yes, and he understood the people he was photographing.
Mm-hmm.
So you realize that when they walk into his studio, he knew them. They were his people.
Yes.
Yeah.
He
So I think
connects with them like on a personal level.
yeah. So I think our Ghanaian photographers could learn from that.
Sure.
You know, it's not just about.
just
And I
photographers,
know some great photographers who do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay,
they
so
connect with their people and they
should we
don't
give
just-
Kweju Kopa and Kwekwe Dinkra to the benefit of the doubt?
Yes, and I also believe that so long as you have a passion for what you are doing, you put in that effort to make it succeed, because you would want to recount the success stories in what you are doing. So
Okay.
I believe that in as much as he started at a small place and all of that, he still didn't give up because the passion was there.
Sure.
The passion served as a fuel, channeling him to do more. So he would give his best so that when you go, you can recommend him to other people.
Great.
Yes,
So talking about passion, I think that passion should like accompany whatever we find ourselves doing.
Yeah.
Not only photography, but like any sphere of life where we find ourselves. Right?
That's true.
Very
I
important.
also think
Okay.
that sometimes you have to really follow where your passion leads you. Because if you want to become a medical doctor, you go through the engineering field, or you end up at the passion isn't there, so you wouldn't really give it your best. And I think we really have to follow our dreams. This is what I want to do. Make sure that you go in that direction,
Sure.
because that is where you're going to succeed. So long as that passion is
Is
there.
it always the case? That's what deters people. They're
Yeah.
like, we are following our passion, but there's no money.
Okay, my
How do
daddy,
I continue?
my daddy always say that, you know what, there are a lot of people in this government sector, and the reason why the government sectors are not really doing much is because most of the people find themselves there as through connection or whatever, and the passion isn't there for them for that work. So they are not really putting in their best. But finding a job, he always tells me, finds a job that there is that passion, that when you are waking up to go to work in the morning,
There's joy.
yes, there is joy. You know that you are expectant.
Yeah.
You know that satisfaction is enough.
Sure.
I mean, it
More
doesn't
than
matter
enough.
how much you are earning.
More than enough.
That satisfaction
Yeah.
is really
Okay,
enough.
guys, so talking about passion, what is your passion and what are you doing to make sure it comes into fruition? Leave your comments in the comment section. Welcome back, folks, from that quick video. Okay, so we take the discussion from where we ended earlier, right?
Yeah.
One thing that struck me in the story is when this family of 27 walk into Mr. Styles' photography studio to take a picture. And then he takes his time to arrange them, wives here, children here, husbands here. It's so interesting how he does it.
Yeah.
It's
And then 2 days later, it said that the father of the family died.
Yeah, the old man.
The old man, like the grandfather, right?
Yes.
Dies. And 2 days after taking the photo, it means if they hadn't had that memory,
Exactly.
there would have been nothing to show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it takes us to the fact that memories are very important.
Very
It's
Aside even photos, like memories, no matter how little, are very important in our daily activities.
That's true. So you see that they are trying not just to create a memory. Let's look at this apartheid era. You realize that the identity of the black South African was under threat. You had to carry a passbook. And the passbook, it didn't so much matter your name. It was the number you were always looking at. So the black South Africans were just a number, a statistic. They didn't matter. So you realize that creating those memories, that's what they can leave behind. Because maybe their names don't
Are
matter
non-existent.
anymore.
It's so
Do you get
sad.
it?
How
So-
like Sizwe Bansi had to transform
Exactly.
Robert's
That was one major event. He had to change his name to another person's name just to survive.
Exactly.
So what
And
are you
then-
willing to trade for your identity?
And the sad thing is that in his own land,
Thank you.
Yeah.
that's the clause, in his own land. It's so sad that we live in our own country and then people come and they say that
Exactly.
without a book you are non-existent.
Yeah.
How does that feel, Tina?
Okay, I feel it's terrible
Mhm.
and it's pathetic because these people came to meet you in your land, probably thriving before their existence, and then they come and they just take control of everything, including you as the individual, and they use you the way they want, and they give you a book with a stamp telling you that this is how you're supposed to live your life, you're not supposed to cross to this side of the country. I mean, your movement is even being restricted, and it's not something that is convenient. Yeah, so.
Sure. Israelism or Sizwe Bansi makes a point that even as king is trouble, he was asked to stay out of trouble. And he said, how do I stay in trouble when I'm black? Even as king is trouble. So as a black man, once walking and you've not even committed any crime, your skin color alone is creating trouble for
This is
Yeah.
still running
in your
today.
own
Exactly,
land.
Yes.
because per the cases that happened in the,
In the
US,
US
yes, racism.
Hmm.
I mean, the guy just
He committed no crime,
no
right?
crime, and he was
Just
just
for the skin color. So
Mm.
it happens
arrested
even
and shot,
today.
and it's still happening. It's so
And it's
sad.
really grave.
Yeah.
It's really grave. And I think that, so we can say that though this play is old, how old? 1972, 73, and it's still relevant today.
Yeah.
It's still relevant
So
today.
it tells us that these issues keep coming up.
So you realize that, you see, it's not just the black skin color. You know, when you come to Africa here too, we have our own racism.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was at this book launch yesterday, and
Okay.
it was about albinism. So I'll just make it quick. You realize that over here, we look at we see that we say Ofri, Jato, and all that. This is our own form of racism.
Imagine.
Seriously.
And
So,
even
yes.
Ethnicity.
yes, ethnicity. You're not
Then
supposed to
tribes
marry
in
from
themselves
this
as
tribe,
Superior
Yes.
and all
superior
that.
than the other, and all of that. Yeah.
So I remember from the other episodes that I watched, and these themes were running through. You realize that ethnicity, in the first episode, what was the title? By the book by Bucci and Mechita.
Second class citizen.
You see all that.
Yes, yes.
It's
And
running
we
through.
spoke about weak not child.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So these issues are still relevant today, and I think this book is a great read.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. I did enjoy reading it, and I couldn't. And the fact that it's a play made it very
Yes.
bring it to life. It brought it to life. Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
it was very well written.
Great. So mentioning that it's a play, can we look at the style?
Okay.
Yeah, I think that the style is very simple, as I said earlier, but it speaks volumes.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Did you get that same feel
Yeah.
while reading?
That's what I thought, you know, when you're reading it, you can actually, it's just reading, I'm not even watching, but I can actually hear the people talking. I can hear the South African talking, and it was really great. Seriously, when you look at the style, it's like, there is a reading to the way South Africans talk that reflects in their music.
Okay.
So during the part where Styles was arranging
The
the
people,
grandfather.
yeah.
You see how he was talking?
Mm.
A brother here, a sister
Yeah.
there, the
Yeah.
grandfather here, auntie here.
Rhythmic,
It's
rhythmic,
almost like
it's true.
reading music.
It's true,
Yeah.
yeah.
So as you're reading, you get that feeling.
Sure. And another thing we can't overlook is the humor, the satiric nature of the story.
Yes.
You know, the story is so sad, but it's presented with so much humor, and you can't help but like laugh while reading it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yet you are supposed to feel sad. So I think that it evokes like a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it also shows how we dealt with all that racism.
Mm-hmm.
You can face almost anything if you can keep your sense of humor. I think that's what I believe. If you can laugh at some things. For example, Styles was interpreting for his boss,
Yes,
Bass Bradley,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And whenever Bass Bradley says something in English and
Yeah.
he's interpreting for his fellow black men,
Mhm.
he includes insults and all sorts. And this made it fun. You can see that they are being suppressed, but it's making
Yeah,
light
trying
of
to
it.
make, yeah.
Yes.
It's true. So there's a saying, like a casual saying in Ghana that it can never be worn in Ghana because we make fun of every situation, no matter how grave the situation
Yeah.
is. Yeah, sure. So I'm still talking about the style. We've
Yeah.
said so many positive things. Well, I wouldn't say this is negative, but
Mm.
as a playwright
Okay.
and narrator, I found the transitioning of the scenes to be quite difficult.
Complicated.
You know, yeah, like complicated.
Yes,
Right?
and confusing.
They are in a photo studio.
Okay.
Suddenly, he's in someone's house. So if you're on stage, how do you make the transition? I
Yeah.
was a bit confused at that point. But when I watched videos on YouTube, I realized that they went black out a bit when he started writing the letter.
Okay.
And then they quickly changed the scene.
So that's how the
Yes,
director
so
goes.
it's more realistic.
Yes, exactly. So without the videos, I also,
Imagine.
yes, I was also a bit confused at some point when the Sizwe Bansi comes, so let me use Robert, comes to,
Okay.
then they're trying to make a movie out of the photograph
Yeah.
and it's,
Suddenly
at a point,
it
yes,
goes
I'm
off,
like,
yeah.
are we,
Yeah.
is this happening or it's like a story being, what is happening?
Mm.
So it kind of gets you
Sure.
confused.
However, we can't overlook that click. When the click comes, the blackout comes, and then he starts the letter. Dear nowhere to.
Yeah.
This, that. It's so beautiful for me,
Yes.
I think. And the fact that the whole story is told in a letter
Yes.
is also quite profound, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Guys, your final words.
So I think the things that run through this story are still pertinent today.
Okay.
Yeah, I think to understand global issues now, you can read this book, get a feel of our background. We are not from South Africa, but we're all colonized by the same people. Our system was a little different. System used in Nigeria was also a little different.
Sure.
So it's like the British, yes, they use different systems for different countries depending on what would work. But we all share one basic thing.
Mm.
We were colonized
Mhm.
and we were made second-class citizens.
Exactly.
So this is a thing that something we can all share and then understand each other better
Sure.
and move forward.
Great. Thank you. Yes,
Okay,
Tina.
so I would also like to say that there are themes that run through the story. I would tackle self-worth. So you could realize that these people, they lost their identity and all that they had was themselves. Even the white children would not even call them man, boy. Like you can see that they were less, yes, to the whites they were like less of a human to them. So, but in as much as they were being suppressed, they could still find something to live on. For Styles'
Sure.
example, he would still
Something to hold on
yes
to.
hold
Yeah.
on to. He had this hope. You know what? This is so little. I'm not going to despise the beginning of my photography studio,
Yeah.
but I'll put in the effort. He
And
went to the
he
studio.
was successful.
Yes, cockroaches and all of
Yeah.
that, but he
Yeah.
would still not give up.
Mm.
I'm going to do this. And
Sure.
yes, I think with time it built his self-esteem,
Great.
and he even had to make those other black people who comes to his photography studio feel that sense of esteem
Great.
Yes.
as well. Yes. So
Sure. All right. Thank you very much for those interesting submissions. I would say that my final remark would be still about the passion. I think that if every person is to approach their work the same way Styles does his, the world will be a better place. Like simply that.
That's true.
All right. So good to have you, and I look forward to seeing you on the show another time.
Thank you. I look forward to it.
thank you too for having us.
You're welcome. Okay, guys. So it's been another exhilarating episode of your favorite book review show, Between the Sheets with me, Naaana, and today with Tina and Courage. Okay, so don't forget that the show is powered by Suggest Books, Vision Effects, Kwekwe Craft Photos, Kojo Kopa. My hair is by Robin Hair Studio. All these names can be found on Instagram by just typing in the search box. Alright,